And the city of Chicago is still reeling from the murder of a 16-year-old honor student during an after-school fight between two rival gangs. Darian Albert died of massive head injuries after he was struck with a large board and repeatedly kicked in the head. His mother told the Fox affiliate in Chicago that her son got caught in the middle of the brawl because he was trying to help a friend. Now, tragically, the massive fight and vicious murder of Darian Albert was all caught on tape. Now, we want to warn you that what you're about to see is extremely graphic and can be very difficult to watch.
Damn! What the oh my God, get closer!
Now, this is absolutely chilling. Well, now the story has turned political. This Thursday, President Obama will travel to Denmark to support Chicago's bid to host the 2016 Summer Olympics. But in light of this tragedy and all of the pressing issues facing the country, is the president making the right move? And joining me now is the host of Give and Take, which airs on WNBC's New York nonstop. Julie Menon is with us, and Fox News contributor, former White House Press Secretary Dana Perino. That video is some of the most difficult video to watch.
I can't watch it, and I think about the mom who not only did she lose her son, but now it's there on video for everybody to watch, and it becomes like part of a political issue. And my sympathies go to her and everybody. All
this kid apparently, by all indications, a great kid, honor student. I mean, what are we to make of what has happened that we see these instances come up periodically? We've seen brawls at football games. You can go back to Rodney King and some of the riots that have taken place. What has happened to these kids that they can take a board and beat this kid to death, kick him in the head, and act like this? What happened?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, this is a terrible scourge on society, gang violence. But I want to get back to what Dana said. It's not a political issue. I don't think there's anything political about it. This is a terrible tragedy, and it has nothing to do with politics.
Well, it's become political in this sense. The president's going to go try and convince the Olympic Committee to bring the Olympics to Chicago.
Well, the sad thing is that this type of thing, this type of school violence, unfortunately happens all over America, and not always resulting in murder. But as I read today, that this is not the first child that's been murdered this school year in Chicago.
No, but Chicago, and I went to law school there, I do have to say something for Chicago. First of all, the crime rate is down, the lowest it's been in 40 years. It's been going down each of the last 4 years. There are 443 murders this year alone out of 3 million people. That rate is half of what it was in the 1990s. So it's definitely going in the right direction.
There's another issue, and it's about priorities for the president. I mean, we've got a general in Afghanistan saying, we need troops. He can't make a decision about sending more troops or else we're risking failure. We've got unemployment at 9.7%. We've got a president who seems so busy going on David Letterman, all the Sunday shows, giving speeches. And, you know, are there not more pressing issues than getting the troops, the reinforcements they need, the equipment they need, getting the economy back on track?
Yeah, the situation in Afghanistan is not going to be solved in one day. This is a 15-hour trip. He is leaving Thursday night. He's coming back Friday afternoon.
I got that, but the general asked for these troops back in August.
Right. So there's a matter of perception, right? And there will be a perception problem. If he probably felt like he had to do this. The one thing that's interesting is that in the United States, we've always let the private sector push for our Olympic bids and also for our athletes. And, you know, other countries haven't done that. And it looks like America is going to make a change.
You know, in New York, Mayor Bloomberg took a very active role in trying to get the Olympics to New York. Not presidents, but Vladimir Putin of Russia went to Guatemala, Tony Blair.
And President Bush was very supportive of Chicago getting the Olympics and did events with Mayor Daley, but did not go and make this type of display. Look, it's a 15-hour trip. It's probably not that big a deal. If they get the Olympics, it'll be fine.
It's wonderful.
It's very interesting to me how this president operates. I mean, he could take 6 or 7 months to decide on what dog that he's going to get for his family. No, seriously. But yet he wants health care pushed in, 2 weeks' time, which was initially their time frame, which was obscene. You know, General McChrystal says we need troops or else we risk failure. That was back in late August. And they still are not getting the reinforcements. And then we found out on 60 Minutes this weekend, he's only spoken to the general once or twice. Yeah. So the question is the president misprioritizing?
I think that, unfortunately, this debate about Afghanistan is being played out now in the public. And because of that, now we are all very well aware that he's only talked to the general once, that the troops, that the request is out there. And what happens when you are a man or woman in uniform for the United States and your commander-in-chief is trying to figure out what the policy is going to be when the policy that he put in place was to get out of your vehicle to defend the people.
But, Crystal, we're very clear. We risk failure. Now, that would have caught my attention if I was president. And that would have caught my immediate attention, and I would have talked to the general.
Well, first of all, I happen to agree with both of you, but for different reasons. I think we should be out of Afghanistan, and I'm upset the president hasn't made a decision. So I actually think that by not making a decision, he should make a decision. So we happen to agree on that, but for different reasons.
Condi Rice says that if we pull out of Afghanistan, we risk another 9/11.
We risk another 9/11, and also just from a woman's point of view, where are all the women's groups? Where are their voice? Why can't they come out and say, we are not going to let this happen again to the women of Afghanistan, to the girls who go to school and get acid thrown in their faces?
But that
That's
has nothing to do
unconscionable.
with troops. I mean, first of all,
Sure
do you
it does.
think...
That provides them the security
do you think that we
need.
need to get into, again, another effort in terms of nation building?
I think that we need a strategy to win, and the president handpicked a general, and the general now is saying, I need troops in order to accomplish my mission, and you can't talk to me but once in 3 months?
But the fact that he hasn't talked to him once in 3 months is very indicative of the fact that he's probably not going to send more troops. I think a decision has to be made.
Let's put that out there then, and let's not drag it out. And if that's the case, then it is unconscionable. If that is the decision, to let men and women in uniform stay there and risk their lives for a policy that they are now repudiating.
But this is the point. He can make a decision to go to, advocate on behalf of the Olympics, but he can't make a decision about whether or not he's going to support, give the general the troops that he's asking.
I agree that he should make a decision on Afghanistan, but as I said, for opposite reasons. I think when you get to the trip to Copenhagen, I don't know, where's your Olympic spirit? I think it's great for the country. It's no different.
I have my Olympic spirit, but I'm also concerned about people that aren't working. I'm also concerned about troops, as Dana points out, that their general has asked for reinforcements, and he's not even talking to them.
So
pick up the telephone, say, General, what do you need?
A 15-hour trip that is going to bring patriotic spirit that is desperately needed is not going to make a difference.
What do you need? How's that? Is that too much to ask?
But that has nothing to do with the Copenhagen trip.
You know what? In my mind, it does, because if you have time to fly to Copenhagen, you've got time to talk to your general who says you're about to lose a war. I think that you have the time.
She might be right. There might be half the country might think that it's not. There's no problem with it. But the perception, if you don't have a job, or if you're in the military, or if you want this health care bill passed and you need the president's help, they're going to think that they could use that time. Really, it is only 15 hours. But there is a fundamental difference of sending a president to the. I sort of think that they think that they're going to get it, because if he goes and doesn't get it, that'll be worse.
I completely agree with you. They're not going to send him if he's not going to get it.
No, it's preordained, and that's the point.
Right, so then
why does he need to go?
Because he needs to go, because Rio was a favored city. So right now Chicago's second place, so he's got to bring it back.
But if they know that they're going to get it, why does he have to go?
He's got to bring the gold back to the United States.
Oh, my God.
So he's got to. So he wants a photo op.
It's not a photo op. It's good for America.
It's a photo op.
The fact that the country is so divided, whether it's health care, Afghanistan, something like the Olympics, is nonpartisan.
You got me all fired up.
Thank you both for being with us. And by the way, it is Text Vote Tuesday.